Hello everyone and welcome to Hutch's Garage for episode 45 of my 1954 International Harvester Farmall Super MTA tractor restoration. In this episode, the rear tire and rim are removed. Then the wheel hub and the rear wheel bearing retainer and seal are removed. A new seal is then installed and the rear wheel bearing retainer is replaced onto the axle. Please note that this video footage was taken at an earlier date. I'm at the point now where I want to replace this rear axle seal. There's a regular rubber neoprene seal or whatever it is here in this piece. Also a felt washer. And the main axle bearing for the outside bearing is right under here. And what you want to do is jack the tractor up and then drop it back down onto the tire, and we'll loosen these big bolts here. It takes a 1-inch socket, and I've got a large breaker bar to do that. There's 2 on this side plus 2 on the outer end, which if you got an AM you know that. This is the lower half moon part here, and before you move it off or take it off, I measure from this point here to up to this carrier right there, and you want to mark that down somewhere if you want to get them back to the same spot. So the socket is a 1-inch. I'm gonna take my big breaker bar, try to get this on here. This is a 4-inch breaker bar, which you may need in some cases. All right. That's enough there. There isn't much room for my wrench to get in here and out, so if I loosen this bolt enough, I won't be able to get this out. Get the other one. All right. Alright, and now I can go to a smaller wrench, and this is 3/4-inch drive stuff. Once you get loose, you can use a smaller wrench like this. Alright. Okay. I'll stop there. I'll do the rest off camera. So once I got this hub off, I'm going to clean it. That's my big deal here, and it's hard to clean in here. I'm going to clean the inside, and while I'm at it, I'll be prepared to replace this shaft here for the brake and clutch pedal, and replace the seal that goes here on the brake shaft, that, you know, for the brake pedals and the clutch pedal. And then right here, the bullpen, I'll clean this area up and put the new O-ring in here and a new seal for this brake, and then put the brake back on. Like, I've got a new brake shaft for there. So now I get both sides loose, I'll jack it up. And from this point, I don't want to take these all out yet. I'm going to loosen these bolts from the outside. There's 6 of them. These are also 1-inch. Takes a 1-inch socket or regular open-end wrench there. And there's also behind here a jam nut, which is about half the thickness of a regular nut. So I'll take that off and I'll work this tire and wheel off. I want to show you my jack stands. I built these jack stands. I've got 3 of them. One for each axle and also for the center of the tractor when I want to lift the whole thing up. And I got an 8-ton jack in the middle to jack it up, and I can adjust it every 1/2 inch with these, or set it down every 1/2 inch with those holes. They're on both sides, this side, and every 1/2 inch I've got a hole. I just want to show that. Now let's go over here We'll just take a couple bolts off now. Take this to remove this tire and rim. So I've got a 1-inch socket. We'll just go around. I've got this tire and wheel jacked up. Break them loose. Then I'll probably go get my ratchet, take them the rest of the way off. So we'll continue to loosen all these up. So like I said, there's 6. I want to point something out. I said before that these nuts here take a 1-inch wrench. I was correct in that. These are the original nuts that were on the tractor. However, okay, they hold these clips on that hold the rim onto the hub. This nut here, which is a half size nut, that's the jam nut, and the square headed bolt take a 15/16. So 1 inch wiggles like that. So it takes a 15/16 wrench to get those off. I just want to point that out. I'm ready to lift this hub off after I remove this bolt. There's a thin washer that goes on this, and then a lock washer there. Now I'm going to lift up on my hoist, bring it up a little bit. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pull out this half moon part. Lift it up a little bit more. I should be able to pull over. Notice I've got a load lever on here to kind of get this level. It's kind of awkward and off center. Sorry, I'm in the way. I'm removing the left side rear axle bearing cap that holds this rear axle seal, and there's a felt washer right in front of the seal. This is the last bolt. There's 4 bolts. It takes a 9/16 inch socket, and they're 3/8 inch bolts. All right, there's the last one. I'm gonna pound on it a little bit. So I'm gonna take a sharp scraper. There we go. Split this open. I also put a towel down below this because usually rear axle oil comes out. There we go. So there it is. What you've got there's the felt seal right there, and here's the rubber seal there. Okay, there's an area here. Some people have put felt in there. Really, what I think it is, it's like a rain shield or mud shield. If anything gets on it, it lets it fall out and drips, and it won't weep back into the bearing. You don't want moisture back in that area. It gets enough moisture just being exposed when it's working. So there's where the grease comes out. All right, so I've got a new seal to put in here, and we'll do that next. All right, here's the rear axle seal carrier, or bearing carrier, or end plate, cap actually, bearing cap. And there is the seal, neoprene seal. And Inside here, right there below it, is the felt washer. Now to remove it, there's no easy way to press it out. So what I'm going to do, I got two blocks here, and I'm going to put this up against this one here. Let's see, try to get into the felt washer and push, slip it in like that, and give it a couple blows. There we go. Knocked her out. Okay. Now I've got a new seal to replace it. Now the next thing is to get the felt washer out of there. So I'll have to clean that up. So that's where it goes. And that's what it looks like. Next step is clean it up and put a new felt washer in and oil seal. So here I've got a rear axle bearing cap, and I've put a new 1/8 inch pipe thread grease zerk in here. I've cleaned this all out. This is where the grease comes out and goes to the bearing. This is that rain, what I call a rain shield. It's just slightly bigger than the diameter of the axle, and I believe it keeps rain and mud from getting into the bearing. If rain gets here, it'll drip off and should not wick in. If you put a piece of felt in here, I think it would help wick water back into this area here and corrode it. And this is corroded enough already from just the life of the tractor. So we're ready to put the seal in, but the first thing to go in will be the felt washer that goes here. I've got it right here. I've soaked it in oil. And that should help collect and keep out dirt a little bit, provide a little extra lubrication, and hopefully keep it from rusting very quickly. So this is the original seal that went in like this, okay? And the new seal will be an SKF 27368. Let's open it up. It's a little bit better seal in my opinion, because we got this ring of steel right here, whereas this one was open. Most of the seals I have purchased for this tractor have been like this one here, the old one, which this one surprised me. It's probably been replaced at one time. So the lip, this lip will face up like this. So this will go down in here. We'll try to get started. Tight squeeze. We're getting close. Now this will need to go down and touch the felt seal. There is a place or a lip that'll stop it from going any farther down. Alright, let's see. That's a little bit more Looks pretty even. I think I got it where I want it. I believe I do. So there it is right there. So it's ready to go on. I've got a brand new gasket to go on with it, and the next thing we'll show is putting this onto the axle. I'm now going to install the left side rear axle bearing cap. I made a new gasket. Here's the bearing cap. Lay the gasket on there. And what I've done, I put grease around here, almost like I packed the grease. This thing gets a little bit of transmission oil, somewhat, but it's also got a grease zerk, okay? And I'll probably pump this full of grease after, you know, I get this together and later on down the road. So what I've done, I put masking tape over the grooves and actually over the whole axle up to a point that it'll be just under this lip right here, and I'll be able to pull this masking tape back out. This is to protect the seal, and I've greased it up a little bit, as you can see. So put the gasket on here. We'll guide it on. So I'm starting at the end of the axle. I'll just go ahead and set that there, kind of work it on here. And just work it. Alright, I'm close. Let me get a bolt. Maybe 2 bolts. And these are 3/8 inch bolts, a little over 1 inch long, about 1 1/4 inch long. I've got grease on the ends of the threads. Got the lock washers on here. And you kind of want to work this on here evenly as much as possible, because it grabs the bearing and you can get it in a bind if you don't do it equally. So get these on here and start working it on. This is one of the easier items to put on the tractor. Using a 9/16 inch socket. All right, and now I'll start peeling the tape off. I can grab a hold of it here. And I've got some. Now what I need to do is actually turn it, peel the paper down below, underneath that rain shield. Let's turn it. Axle. There we go. Anyway, that's what I'm doing.
completes that job.
That's all the time we have for in this episode. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Please continue to join me for the next episode as I restore and rebuild this 1954 International Harvester Farmall Super MTA tractor.